Well, things just got a lot harder for Sony with their proposed all-digital future on deck. Wouldn't you know it with the timing for something like this? Because, well, if it is all digital, you're going to be fully reliant then on Sony with PlayStation Store to buy your games, PlayStation Network, of course, to access them and re-download or even authenticate them in some cases. And if that goes down and there is no physical media, you just kind of hang out and wait. And well, that's what happened earlier today. For several hours, PlayStation Network struggled its way to finally coming back, but it was very spotty across the board. People all over the world were having issues, and it finally had people once again asking the question about, is an all-digital future a great idea right now for Sony? Well, that's what we'll go over here today. So if you guys enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. As I was looking through this, I did notice that Push Square had an entire timeline of events here, okay? And that was again this morning around 7 a.m. Eastern time. People were starting to post to Reddit that the store was down, that they weren't able to access their friends list, that they couldn't see their trophies, they couldn't even play some of their digital games. So they had an update around 8 a.m., another one around 8:40 a.m. They start to figure out it's Amazon Web Services. And yeah, a lot of companies rely on Amazon for their servers or what have you. And when those get knocked down, it then has like a chain reaction effect, of course, for their stuff to not be working. But even when Amazon Web Services were resolved and came back up and everything, Sony was still down because they then also have to do work on their end to make sure everything is up and running. So a bit of a lagging effect there. But I did notice that even the person who was covering here was also trying to check in with their account, and they're saying they're unable to download their games or access their friends list. And that was at 11 a.m. Eventually, it was sorted out here in the afternoon. And by 3:05, it seems like it was updated to really not have any issues. And that's how it looks like for me right now. All services are up and running. I did check it earlier and it was all red. Oh, we're experiencing issues. And it tried to sort out or at least kind of explain each one a bit further if you do like a little drop down. So it said for the store, you're gonna have a hard time browsing maybe, or maybe the search function doesn't work. So it was trying to cover as much as they could, but it basically sounded like there was very spotty and at times just intermittent depending on where you were in the world. It seemed like it was more in the like Europe and stuff compared to the US. But like Down Detector does show that, yeah, there was a significant amount of reports coming in throughout the morning. So I did see many outlets covering this. I mean, it was blowing up online to where even mainstream outlets like the BBC and others were starting to cover this. And that alone started to garner millions and millions of views on social media, but then also on their own website. So this was something that was heavily scrutinized because, yeah, with everything that's happening with Sony right now, even an outage of an hour or two is going to get this kind of reaction because you're just kind of reliant on this service. So, I mean, look, Sony puts themselves in the situation. It basically can't go down for any extended period of time, like ever. Or there are going to be a lot of problems online, a lot of pushback, a lot of frustration. You have gotten to the point then, again, it seems like they're making this move post January 2028 to be fully reliant on them with like re-downloading your games. Let's say there's, especially with the limited capacity now of these systems, considering it's quite expensive now to have expandable storage and drop it into the device, people are going to save storage by just deleting games. That's it. So maybe you're like, okay, well, I can't play the Marvel Tokon beta, which is ongoing right now, and obviously that's going to bring an even bigger spotlight to it because they had to respond to this and say, hey, sorry, something's going on. We're looking into it, see what we can figure out. Time limited, by the way, for this open beta over the weekend. But people of them would go, you know what? Okay, I guess I can't play that. I'll play a single-player game, I guess offline. Oh, wait, it's not on my system. I have to download it. Oh, wait, I don't have a disc. I actually have to just wait for the store to come back. There are some who are also showing like they were having a hard time playing their digital games offline. I'll tell you this, for digital games, if you have your system set to primary, you can actually just play them. And so you don't actually need to check in, as long as, of course, you've bought the game, you've downloaded it, and you have your system set to primary, it should still work. I saw a lot of people who are posting that their system was the secondary account, or they were doing account sharing. Yeah, there are some things that you have to authenticate every time you turn the game on digitally because you're sharing the game with another account. But for the most part, you should be able to play digital games offline, even if the server's down. unless it's one of those situations of, for whatever reason, the publisher decided that this single player game needs to have heavy-handed DRM and it's just always online. That just tends to happen with some of these publishers, even with disc-based games, and it's really, really annoying. It seems like people become more aware of some of the drawbacks to a digital landscape, like digital marketplace and future, completely around a system when these things tend to happen. And that's just the way it is, human nature. When something is presented directly in front of you and it affects you immediately, you're all of a sudden going to go, oh, maybe that is a problem. So if you have the game physically, yeah, it's going to be a gold master they put on that disc that is probably not as good, generally speaking, as the updated version, right, that you would get when you pop the disc in and then you get an update from the internet for it. But you can still play that gold master if you want, just installing it from the disc. And that's probably about 75 to 80%, I'd say now, of PlayStation 5 games that come on Blu-rays. So there's still this misconception around the idea that every game needs to download, even though, like, you have the disc with the game. Some games you do. I don't know. For some reason, like, some of these companies still do that, probably because of security, control, whatever else, right? Many of these third parties don't even want to deal with the physical release of games because it's just they get less money, right? That's just how it is. And for Sony, this is the reaction they're going to get going forward with the current direction that they're heading in. Yeah, if PlayStation Network goes down for a morning, it's going to be massive news because that basically just means that PlayStation itself comes to a screeching halt for, could be 6 hours. Like, it still seems to be kind of acting up for people. For the most part, it's been resolved, but this was like a good portion of the day where it was affected, and so many people were covering it, so many outlets, so much discussion around this and what this means for like the future of Sony and what they want to do, and if they are even ready for it. Because my argument is they're not ready, but that's more in line with the idea of like digital rights and ownership. So I just mentioned, right, that, people delete stuff off of their solid-state drive on the PS5 because you don't have a lot of space. Games tend to be hundreds of gigabytes now in size. Wouldn't it be nice if you have a digital game and you say, you know what, instead of deleting that, maybe I have a flash drive or a hard drive that I can just store the game on. And it'll still work if I plug the hard drive back in, and I can move it around. I can do whatever I want with this digital product. To me, that would actually make a lot of sense and would play more into the idea of digital rights. Being able to have more control, more of a tangible product for a digital item that right now is still completely locked down to Sony and is more of an entitlement than anything else. So let's say you have this digital game and you really like it. You go, you know what? I'm just going to store it on this flash drive. And then if I want to play it whenever, wherever I can, right? So I want to take it over to a friend's house, pop the flash drive into their system, it'll move it over, and I can just play it. They don't have to authenticate anything, nothing like that. It would also play it nicely here to where, the internet's down, but you know what? I have a copy of that game saved to a flash drive. I decided to do that instead of delete the game completely and then have to re-download it. So I'll just drop that in. I don't need the internet to authenticate anything. It'll work because it's a digital product that I bought and that I own, kind of like the physical games that maybe you have up on the shelf. These are the kind of things that Sony has to work out, and they just haven't yet. So that's one of the big arguments I think that makes a lot of sense to keep physical games around, is that they really haven't worked out any of the stuff we would need for digital rights to get closer and closer and more so match the kind of product you can get when you buy a disc with the game on it. So if anything, this at least did shine a bit more of a light on that. But it's also probably a situation where people will kind of forget and move on from the PlayStation Store going down until the next time PlayStation Network goes down, because I'm trying to figure out, of course, we always try to figure out what happens when something like this goes down. You're always curious. What does it look like in the server rooms? What hiccup caused this? But I think about some like high stress scenarios for PlayStation Network. Like some people are saying, Marvel Tokon, the beta, that's what knocked this PlayStation Network down. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but I would not be shocked if GTA 6 comes out and everyone is hammering that PlayStation Store, not even just for the multiplayer, but for downloading the game when it releases, and the store struggles and crashes. This happened with the Call of Duty, Black Ops 1 and 2, the store was struggling. Now, those games were just kind of basically shadow dropped. With GTA 6, it does appear that one of the reasons they're putting in retail stores early is to give people a chance to buy the code in a box, take it home, redeem it, start downloading what I have to imagine is 100 gigabytes plus of a game, and get everything situated rather than everyone hit the servers like immediately at midnight, November 19th or whatever, and trying to download all this stuff at once. And yeah, that probably would cause issues on the server. So this is going to be interesting when we get closer to GTA 6, see how that works out. But if nothing else, at least a bit of a wake-up call once again for people to remember, oh yeah, the all-digital future, it does have some drawbacks. It's not always just convenient. Sometimes, yeah, the servers go down and you really can't do a lot. But let me know what you guys think about this one down below in the comments. The timing is actually kind of crazy on this one for the servers to go down, or for PlayStation Store for 6 hours or so, as all the backlash hitting Sony around them moving on from physical games in 2028. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.